What's up, everybody? I thought I'd do a knife throwing related video. I've been so caught up with my damn sword, I figured the knife throwing community's kind of wondering what the hell's going on with me. Anyway, this is going to be a video about the progression of a knife thrower from beginning to up until now, as my perspective, from myself, my own point of view, and how I see it progress from someone just getting into it and where they will end up. So I got a lot of information to go through. I wrote some things down this time. Yeah, let's get into it. So I went in, found a bunch of old knives, got pretty nostalgic. And this is a majority of my collection. Throughout the years, I've given things away, I've made things, traded, whatnot. And yeah, let's get into it. So, this section here, from the carpet over, was my first couple years of throwing. Actually, probably the first year. And as I see it, it's usually a movie or martial arts or something that just, kickstarts that want or need to throw. And then after that, you go out and you get whatever you can get. I see a lot of people always recommending going to buy custom knives, and that's a good thing. But if this is all you can afford, then hell yeah, get into those. These are going to lead into those eventually. If you like it and you want to stay into it, you're eventually going to move down the line. First things, you usually get the Hibbins, the Perfect Points, the Uzis, the S&Ws. These are actually knockoffs of S&Ws. This is a Ruco throwing knife. This is the nicer set of Hibbins. But these were some of the first sets. Actually, I think the very first set I ever had was either that one, or I can't remember. It was pretty much all this right here. I have a lot of these somewhere. Some of them have standed the test of time. Some of them broke right away. They're mass produced, and anything with a hole will eventually break. I had a lot of fun with these knives. I still highly recommend them. Here's something really messed up. My local truck stop. Look at that. $60. My local truck stop, man. I talked them down to like 25 bucks because I wanted to support a local business or whatever, and I told them I'm not paying that. I can get them online for $18. So they compromised and whatnot, but they sell them all day there like that. All day. I don't really get it, but whatever. So, Hibbins. It's not really familiar right now because it used to have those bumps right there. I don't even know if this has a maker name on it. I have no idea. I think we wrote Rambo Lambo. My buddy JJ and I, who came up with FullTangClan, he was a founding member. We used to make up all kinds of dumb things before we actually knew what competitions were or anything. This was one of my other first sets. Of course, everybody's seen the Expendables. They are razor sharp when you get them. Very cheap stainless steel, and they will break. Case in point right there. Of course, everybody had Ninja Stars, aka Shuriken or Shocken. If you can't afford any throwing knives, I recommend getting a butter knife. Heavier handle one. These are great for learning. My girlfriend's daughter, Karma, she used to mimic me and throw with me outside the garage here. This is one of JJ's first no-spin knives. He was more of a no-spin guy, and I was more of a spin guy when we first started out. And this is just some cheap, mild steel. I can't remember what he made it of, but yeah. I highly recommend this one, actually. It's a cold steel GI Tonto. Very strong. It's a great all-around knife. You can buy these for like $25. Highly recommend those. These are knockoff Smith & Wesson throwers. They're really small. I think they're maybe 10 inches. I can't remember. These are the nicer Hibbins. These are actually pretty cool. It actually comes with a very nice sheath. Super rad. I don't even throw these very often because they're just so cool looking. Kind of nostalgic, This one's never been thrown. I just found this when I was looking through my stuff. Cheap Ruco zombie killer. It looks like a cold steel Pro Fight. basically the exact same, just smaller, cheaper. These I don't think you can even buy these anymore. Highly, highly recommend these. These are Rough Rider Bowies. Taylor Hull had been throwing for 6 months, or 6 weeks. Went to the World Championship and put up a master score with those. Highly recommend those if you can still find them. I'm sure that someone still has stock. After you get through that phase, the next thing, in my experience and from what I've seen other people, is you start watching YouTube videos, and then that either leads to Facebook or some kind of knife throwing forum. Then from there, you either start making your own knives or you get into finding custom makers such as Bill Page, Joe Dara. The list goes on and on, Rob Crozier, blah, blah, blah. So what I started doing is I started making knives. These are made from an aluminum cutting saw blade that I got from work. This was my first design for a speed thrower. It's super thin. I got this from the sawmill. I have like 5-foot pieces. It's just too thin, and they're a little bit warped because it was a giant bandsaw I made this out of. Same with the shuriken there. This was from a recent video. 60-second throwing knife. I ground this out and made it in 60 seconds on Instagram. So from there, okay. So we're kind of still in the beginning stage, the first year or two of throwing. Then you can find the cold steel hawks. Here's my, I don't throw hawks that often. For me, they're not as challenging as knives. So these just kind of get sit around and beat the hell up. This, however, is my first hawk. I turned it into a shorter mountain man hawk, customized it a little bit. These are, of course, Norse hawks. Everybody knows that these are the best design for getting into it. Highly customizable. Then you get online and you start figuring out what real customs are. My very first set of customs was these right here. These 3 are Bill Page Griffins. One of the best throwing knives of all time, in my opinion. Good for rotational, good for instinctive half spin, no spin. I got these from Alan Cotilla. I will never sell these. I only let certain people throw them if I know they're not gonna bang them into shit. It came with this super rad sheath. It actually has a tooled griffin on the front. It's hard to see now from getting banged up. From there, after you buy your first customs, oh, okay, so that was my first set. My second set, I had to, like, this was a must for me. These are Bill Page Bullseye Seekers, super rad sheaths. Actually, this is my 5-year anniversary today, and it kind of sparked the memory of making this video. So nice sheath, nice sheaths. I went to a gun and knife show and bought an actual gun belt, super thick, high quality. And these were my go-to rotational knives for years. I won 2 world championships with these, fast draw and Texas 3-step. And if I remember right, I believe I have the highest score ever in a competition for Texas 3-step. I'm pretty proud of that. It was an amazing year. Had a great time with those. After you buy your first customs, then you just practice. Once you get a set of customs, you're like, oh, okay, now I know what's up. They're much more durable. You can just feel the difference in the steel in your hand. It's like having a mall katana and then getting a real katana, for if anybody's watching that's a sword guy. So after that, what you do is you practice as much as possible, man, and then you find online who has a throw and where. And then you decide, can I go to that throw? And if so, then you go. And that's kind of where your first throw is, where you're going to decide whether or not you're into competing or you're just kind of there to hang out, which is fine too, or if you're just a regular backyard thrower. You know, some people are just content throwing in their backyard, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's some amazing throwers that have only thrown in their backyard, and I'm always encouraging people to go to a throw because you will not regret it, man. It is the most fun. So, from here down to right here is stuff that I've gotten as gifts or prizes. All those 7 cleavers up there were gifts to me from Drew Masor, really rad guy. I can never thank him enough. Throwing cleavers are amazing. That one up there is a real cleaver. I don't throw that much. That one's from Bill Bednarik. Now, these, if you guys want to know, there's a super rad story about these. These are very rare. Let me know down in the comments if you guys want me to make another video about that, because there's a super, super cool story about that. And every time I talk about it, I still start to shake, because it was just an epic moment in my throwing career so far. This one is a Zuccotti. I don't believe he makes knives anymore. This is a Backbone Knives. It's a Baby Bowie design from Joe Dara. This, I'm sure everybody knows what this is. This is actually made by Trevor Gattenby. It was given to me by him. It's signed. I'm sure, I don't know. It's seen better days. I'm sorry. It says To Danger right there. Texas 2014. It's a Bill Page card cutter. One of the coolest, most original, best throwing knives of all time, in my opinion. This one here is another gift. It's a Slipstream by Devious Designs, Eric Levy. Check him out on Instagram if you can. He is into leather work, and he is an artist, tattoo artist, and making incredible, incredible things. These three right here are instinctive knives made by Swamp Knives, Judah Myers, one of my best friends, part of the FullTangClan. Okay, so, you know, carpet over there, that's one section. Carpet to here is another section. This